Hi there everybody, I'm Andy and welcome to another Kerbal Space Program video. This one dedicated to this morning's scrub launch of the Delta IV Heavy that was supposed to take the Orion capsule up into orbit and specifically into deeper space, about 3,600 miles away from the Earth, to test all the electronics and everything on board. It's a really important launch because the Orion spacecraft is brand new. It's something that's been built from scratch. And while it harkens back to the Apollo days, it's a completely different type of spacecraft. It's huge. Instead of 3 astronauts, it'll carry 5, and even with 5, they've got a lot of room. But the more important thing is it has modern day electronics in it and things that have never been tested in space before. So it's important to find out, what problems are before you stick 5 human beings in there and send them on their merry way, because you want to fix problems now and not, oh, crud, when you're 250,000 miles out or further. So unfortunately, though, today's launch was scrubbed because they ended up having problems with the drain valves for the liquid fuel and liquid oxygen drain valves that were supposed to cycle shut in the last 4 minutes of the countdown, and they didn't. And they tried really hard to get them to close, but they couldn't make the launch window. So they had to scrub it. They've got it set again for tomorrow. So hopefully the engineers will figure out what's wrong with those 2 valves and get them fixed. Now, specifically, this is my Delta IV Heavy, which is not really a Delta IV Heavy, but it's as close to approximation as I can get here on Kerbal Space Program and make it perform the same way. But the way the Delta IV works, the Delta IV Heavy, is it uses a core here of liquid fuel, and then you use 2 more cores as boosters. Even though they're not solid rocket propellant, they're liquid fuel also. And specifically what went wrong this morning is in the center core and the port core. That is where those drain valves wouldn't shut. And the right one shut just fine, but these 2 wouldn't. And you don't want that to happen when you're launching. And the way the Delta IV works is when it fires, it does so at full thrust right at launch. And about 55 seconds into the launch, 50 or 55 seconds into the launch, the center core engine is throttled back to 50%, while the 2 boosters on the end are left at full throttle. Then once they run out of fuel, they're kicked off, and the main engine on the main core is boosted back up to 100% thrust, and to put it in orbit. So I've got it here. Now, the other thing I have on here is I couldn't find an exact Orion capsule mod for KSP. They have something that's called Taurus, which is kind of cute because that's what Orion the Hunter and the constellation is shooting at, is Taurus the Bull. So, and this capsule doesn't hold 3, it doesn't hold 5, it holds 8 Kerbals. So it's pretty big. Yeah, they're all happy. They're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. In a minute, I will put your lives at risk. So I'm doing a test with guys in it anyway. This is 5 meters. Now, the Orion capsule and the equipment going with it is normally in a 4-meter fairing with or 4 meters with a 5-meter fairing. So that's why I had to go with 5-meter stuff, because that's what they're doing. Plus, I needed something heavier because the 3-man capsule in vanilla Kerbal Space Program is just not heavy enough. I was getting up in orbit just fine, without having to use a lot of fuel or boosters. So I went out and got this so that we can make it heavier and more realistic. So I'm going to shut up. We're going to go ahead and launch here. And I'm going to try to simulate how they would launch it, basically. Here, you guys ready to go? Okay, let's go ahead and go to full thrust and turn my systems on here. Now, I have to light off the engines and wait until the engines build up full thrust before I release the gantry, or else it'll fall to the ground. So here we go. Interesting looking in here. Go, 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 go. There we go. Woo. Woo. And I know mine's not the same color. Deal with it. I wanted the orange too. But when I did that configuration, it had to be with the 3-man, and it just... I mean, I could get it up no problem. It wasn't following the same flight path, so... It's the Titan kick again. Hey guys, you guys happy now? See? See, I told you it would work. Y'all just didn't want to believe me. Alright, now, I'm putting this in a 100K orbit, and I'd have enough fuel left over to actually maneuver and go where I wanted to go. So, I wouldn't, you know, my launch window, with Kerbals, you don't have to worry about food and water and air and all that neat stuff. And I've got fuel to waste, so, you know, I can maneuver it. Once I get into a 100K kilometer orbit, you know, go ahead and send it where I want to here. So I'm going to wait for it to go ahead and do its burn to round out its orbit here. We're warping. And no, it won't take... It says 54 minutes. That's because the engines didn't fire long enough for it to calculate it. Mech jet, that is. Okay, go ahead. This is a big space. It's a big capsule. It looks pretty cool. I'll show you guys here in a minute. As soon as it's done doing this burn, I'm going to pop off the fairing. And here we go. Fine tuning. It's just about done. Yeah, see, you guys are all happy now. I told you you were going to live. For now. Alright, let's pop off the fairing so you can see the capsule. Alright, there you go. This isn't the Orion capsule. This is the Taurus capsule. This is what Kerbals are going to use. So, let's take a look inside, man. What does it look like, guys? Huh? Ooh. Ooh. All the pretty buttons, man. Yeah. Yeah, no step, no input. There's no input. Why not? Nope. Ooh, look, you know, let's just start pushing buttons there. It's like, cool. Okay. What about these guys riding in the back? What were they seeing again? Oh, they're like below and behind. No input, man. And Kerbals don't mind being packed together like sardine and everything, man. They're all happy. Look at that. They're like, yeah. All right. So what I can do is I can come in here because I have more than enough fuel left. And I can come up here and, you know, let's say I wanted to put the orbit, 3,600 miles would be about 5,700 kilometers. So, and of course in the Kerbal, everything's smaller. But see, I could come here and I could say, okay, I want you to burn and go out. That's 3,600. We'll say 3,600 kilometers for 3,600 miles. And then, of course, using MechJeb, I can tell it to just go ahead and execute that maneuver when I want. Or, so go ahead and execute it. Boop. Yeah, see, I told you guys it was going to be okay. No, that's how you do the launch. My valves didn't stick. Of course, in sandbox mode, I have an unlimited budget and unlimited equipment and stuff like that at my disposal. So I have to admit, though, when I found the mod for this capsule, I was thinking to myself, I was like, ooh, this would make a really good, you know, capsule for an interplanetary ship. So, which I've been experimenting with certain things. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to do a burn for 10 seconds here. And what that's doing, for those of you that don't understand oral mechanics, is it's putting my apogee, or the farthest distance away from Kerbal of my orbit, way out here. Ta-da! So now you come on out, and if you imagine what Orion would have been doing, basically, is coming out and leaving low Earth orbit, because 3,600 miles is not low Earth orbit. And then it's deep inside the Van Allen belts. You know, it's important to find out how the equipment's going to behave while it's in that radiation, and of course to make sure that the way the ship's built, it's going to be sufficient shielding for the astronauts. The astronauts won't spend a whole lot of time in the Van Allen belts, just like on Apollo when they went there. You're talking about a matter of hours or less, which the aluminum shielding plus their space suits plus any garments on the inside is actually sufficient enough to block most of the high energetic particles for that short amount of time. And that's what's really important about radiation poisoning that some people don't seem to understand. It's not just the amount of radiation that's coming through or what can get through, it's the time of exposure. That's what's going to, is going to tell you what your dosage is. So spending days, weeks, or months in that type of radiation, yeah, you're going to end up with a lethal dose. When you start talking about hours or less, no, you're not in there long enough. It's the same thing with like getting a chest x-ray. You go to get a chest x-ray, you're standing in front of the machine for just a few seconds. If you hook yourself up to it and stand there for a couple of hours getting dosed by it, yeah, you're going to have some major issues after that. So, all right, so we're already there. I'll go ahead and show off the rest of the machine here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. It came with its own little fuel pod, and all this neat stuff can be kicked off, but I also added these just like the Orion capsule has, which is the 4 solar panels for power. It's pretty cool, man. I got 4 of them on here that I could put in. But the engine's really cute the way it looks when it fires. Cut it out. Hey, program. Okay. Now, I've got a bunch of parachutes and other stuff on here, but it's got one last thing that's pretty cool. You eject this, you want to get it away, and what you can do is this here. Watch. Ooh, bye-bye, kicked it away. Of course, now they're screwed, they're going to be in orbit forever. But I can always revert launch. So there we go. Unfortunately, the actual launch of the Orion capsule is scrubbed today, but we went ahead and had our own launch, and with our new capsule and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're having a great day, a great night out there, wherever you happen to be. Please take care of yourself and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.